For generations, the American dream was one of the most powerful ideas in the world. It was built on a simple promise: if you worked hard, played by the rules, and stayed committed to your goals, you could build a better life than the generation before you. Millions of people came to the United States believing in that promise. Families worked long hours, saved money, bought homes, raised children, and looked forward to a secure retirement. The American dream became more than an economic concept. It became a symbol of hope. But today, a growing number of Americans are asking a difficult question: is the American dream disappearing? Across the country, people are working harder than ever, yet many feel they are falling behind. Housing prices have reached levels that would have seemed impossible just a generation ago. Rent continues to climb, groceries cost more, healthcare remains expensive, and millions of families are carrying debt. Young adults who followed the traditional path, going to school, earning a degree, finding a job, often discover that financial security feels further away than expected. The dream that once seemed achievable now appears increasingly out of reach for many Americans. To understand what is happening, we have to go back several decades. After World War II, the United States entered one of the most prosperous periods in its history. Manufacturing jobs were abundant, wages grew steadily, and the middle class expanded rapidly. A single income could often support an entire family. Buying a home was difficult but achievable. College tuition was far more affordable than it is today, and many workers expected to spend their careers with one employer before retiring with a pension. Economic growth was strong, and confidence in the future was high. During this period, the American dream felt real because the rewards of economic growth were widely shared. But over time, the economy began to change. Globalization increased competition. Manufacturing jobs moved overseas. Technology transformed industries. While these changes created new opportunities, they also created winners and losers. The benefits of economic growth became increasingly concentrated among those who owned assets, businesses, and investments, while many workers experienced slower wage growth. One of the biggest challenges facing Americans today is housing affordability. Homeownership has long been considered a cornerstone of the American dream. For decades, buying a home represented stability, wealth creation, and a path toward financial independence. Yet for many young families, purchasing a home now feels nearly impossible. In many cities, home prices have risen much faster than incomes. Even individuals earning what would traditionally be considered strong salaries struggle to save enough for a down payment. Rising interest rates have made mortgages more expensive, further increasing the financial burden. As a result, many Americans are delaying home ownership, remaining renters longer than previous generations, or abandoning the goal altogether. The psychological impact of this shift cannot be overstated. When people lose confidence in their ability to achieve major life milestones, they begin questioning whether the system is still working for them. At the same time, debt has become a defining feature of modern American life. Student loans, credit card balances, auto loans, and mortgages have created enormous financial pressure for millions of households. Many young adults begin their working lives already carrying significant debt from higher education. They are told that college is the key to success, yet many graduate into a labor market that does not always provide the income needed to comfortably repay those loans. Credit cards are increasingly used to cover everyday expenses as families attempt to maintain their standard of living. Despite rising costs, this cycle creates financial stress that can persist for years or even decades. Debt itself is not always a problem, but when debt grows faster than income, it becomes a burden that limits opportunity and economic mobility. Another factor contributing to concerns about the American dream is the growing gap between wages and living costs. While incomes have increased over time, many essential expenses have risen even faster: housing, healthcare, childcare, and education consume a larger share of household budgets than they did in previous generations. Workers often feel trapped in a situation where earning more money does not necessarily translate into greater financial security. Even individuals with stable employment can struggle to build savings, invest for retirement, or prepare for emergencies. This creates a sense of uncertainty that affects not only financial decisions but also personal well-being. People postpone marriage, delay having children, and rethink long-term plans because they are unsure about their economic future. Healthcare represents another major challenge. Medical expenses remain one of the leading causes of financial hardship. In the United States, a serious illness or unexpected medical emergency can quickly create significant debt, even for individuals with insurance coverage. Families often face difficult choices between paying medical bills, saving for retirement, or meeting other essential needs. This uncertainty contributes to a broader feeling that the safety nets many people assumed would protect them are no longer as reliable as they once appeared. The rise of artificial intelligence and automation has introduced a new layer of anxiety. Technological innovation has always changed the labor market, but the speed and scale of modern technological advancement are unprecedented. Many workers fear that jobs once considered secure may eventually be automated, while new industries and opportunities are likely to emerge. Periods of technological transition can be disruptive. The challenge for policymakers, businesses, and workers is ensuring that the benefits of innovation are widely distributed rather than concentrated among a small group of individuals and organizations. If large numbers of workers feel excluded from the gains created by new technologies, economic inequality may continue to widen. Meanwhile, the federal government faces its own financial challenges. National debt has reached historic levels, raising questions about long-term fiscal sustainability. Some economists argue that high debt levels can limit future policy flexibility and create economic risks if borrowing costs continue to rise. Others believe the United States retain significant advantages because of the strength of its economy and the global role of the dollar. Regardless of which perspective proves correct, the growing debt burden has become a central topic in discussions about America's future. Concerns about inflation, government spending, and economic stability have become increasingly common among investors, policymakers, and ordinary citizens. Yet despite all these challenges, declaring the death of the American dream may be premature. History shows that the United States has repeatedly faced periods of uncertainty and transformation. Economic crises, wars, technological disruptions, and social changes have all tested the nation's resilience. In many cases, the country adapted and emerged stronger than expected. The American dream itself has evolved over time. For previous generations, success may have meant owning a home in the suburbs and working for a single employer throughout one's career. Today, success may take different forms: entrepreneurship, remote work, digital businesses, investing, and new career paths are creating opportunities that did not exist decades ago. The definition of prosperity is changing, even if the transition is often difficult and uneven. The future of the American dream will likely depend on several critical factors. Education systems must prepare workers for a rapidly changing economy. Housing affordability must improve if younger generations are to achieve financial stability. Policies that encourage innovation while supporting workers during periods of transition may become increasingly important. Economic growth alone will not be enough if large segments of the population feel excluded from its benefits. Trust in institutions, confidence in the future, and belief in opportunity remain essential ingredients of a healthy society. So, what happens next? No one can predict the future with certainty. The challenges facing America are real, but so are its strengths. The country remains home to some of the world's most innovative companies, leading universities, and dynamic entrepreneurs. New technologies continue to create opportunities. Millions of people still pursue their goals with determination and optimism. The real question may not be whether the American dream is ending, but whether it is being transformed into something different. Every generation faces obstacles that seem overwhelming at the time. The outcome depends on how societies respond to those challenges. The story of the American dream is still being written, and the next chapter may be one of the most important in modern history. Will America find a way to restore opportunity and rebuild confidence? Or will the gap between expectation and reality continue to grow? The answer to that question will shape not only the future of the United States, but also the future of millions of people who continue to believe that a better life is possible.